In Japan, the hand can be used like a knife. But this method doesn't work with a tomato. Introducing the new patented Ginsu 2000. The legend lives on. It's more than amazing. It's a Ginsu. Cut through a tin can, the Ginsu 2000 can saw a lead pipe and still slice a tomato like this.
Don't you wish every knife was this magical? Hello, I'm Tahj Merriman, a third quarter student at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, and I'm here to ask, what's the most important tool in your kitchen? I've been a professional chef for several years and a sushi chef trained in Japan. And most people have tons of home kitchen gadgets. And most people don't use any of them, sadly. It is said in a Faroe Island proverb that a knifeless man is a lifeless man. And this fact is no less true in a kitchen. And I'm here to say that buying one good quality knife is an intelligent decision for your life. Let's cover some of the main points. Let's talk about health. One of the biggest areas of discussion in the United States today is health. You hear it everything from eating to the Affordable Health Care Act. Well, at this moment, I'm going to discuss how one good quality knife can be a healthier choice for you. The healthiest way to eat, hands down, is a diet full of fresh fruits and vegetables. Most people are very intimidated by unprepared foods, especially in our fast-paced society. And besides, who wants to spend that time slaving over a stove anyway? But with one sharp knife and a ton of fresh produce, you're now armed with the fastest means of getting wholesome products into your body. Proper cutting aids in digestion, preserves nutrients, and does less damage on the cellular level for your vegetables. And this can be found out on worldshealthiestfoods.org. Have you ever had chewy or really bad sushi? This is normally because it was either cut wrong or it was cut badly and with a dull knife. Let's talk about time. Using a sharp knife makes cutting your produce and fresh vegetables, and even sometimes chicken or beef, a lot easier and faster, which means that it's less stress, which is what? Healthier. Speaking of health, what's healthier than being safe? In 2011, over 330,000 hospital visits were due to kitchen knife accidents, cited by the National Electronic Injury Surveillance System. Yes, that is a mouthful. But using a dull knife means that the user has to exert more force and thus makes it more prone for accidents. The Washington Post did a whole article on this. Let's move on to our next point. Let's talk about cost. One of the biggest concerns with spending money is spending it. So let's compare the two cost options. Let's talk about eating at home. One of the best ways to save money is cooking at home. And I'm speaking from experience. A newlywed couple can eat healthy, well-balanced diet for between $10 to $20 a day, depending on where you live, of course. And most restaurants, at a minimum, cost $10 to $15 every time you go out, even the fast ones. Let's look at cheap knives. An inexpensive knife block set is around $50, and that's just from doing a generic knife block set search on Google or Yahoo or whatever. And who even knows what all of these knives are for? After 17 years of being a professional chef, I barely even know what most of those options are. The home cook doesn't need all of those knives, and the cheap ones are garbage. You're going to end up throwing them away in less than a year anyhow, and you're not going to want to use them. Buy one knife, one good knife, and take care of it, and it'll last you for life. And if you really take care of it, you may even be able to give it to your children. Speaking of that, let's get on to our next point, quality. What makes a good knife a good knife? The biggest part is the steel that it's made out of. So in discussions about steel, let's look at two quick options. This particular knife by Kikuichi is a blend of steel. Notice how it doesn't tarnish or rust. This is a lightweight chef's knife and really is what you should be looking for. I believe this one's 9.5 inches. This monstrosity here, which I actually left to tarnish, is a carbon steel blade. Notice how the discoloration comes. This happens if you don't wipe the knife down from every use and keep scrupulous care of it. These are really good for home as well, but you just have to make sure you keep them clean. But I highly recommend a stainless blend. There are two types of knife blades. You have Western style and you have Japanese style. So a Western style knife which is going to look like this, has the blade that comes in to both sides, which puts pressure on both sides of the food that you're cutting. A Japanese style knife, if you can see, has most of the blade on one side. Now there are all different kinds of variations of handles and shapes, but what you really need is a medium to lightweight chef's knife or santoku knife from a reputable brand. This should cost you no more than $200. $200, I know, right? But don't forget that if you take care of it, it'll replace all the other knives in your kitchen. Not only that, but you'll never have to replace it. When compared to a knife block or a whole lot of other cheap knives, it really makes the price comparable. So there's a number of reputable brands that I'd like to guide your way. Most of them are reasonably affordable. Some of those would be Global, Shun, Wusthof, Hinkle, Mac, and Masamoto. Some companies like Shun make proprietary sharpeners that are specially designed for their knives. As a closing note, one of the other things you want to make sure is that you have either a plastic or a wooden cutting board. So, in closing, the next time you decide to go shopping for your kitchen or your apartment, skip everything else and get yourself one good knife to take into battle. Every warrior in history would agree. Again, I'm Tahj Merriman, and please feel free to leave your questions and comments in the discussion board below.